So I'm making this face mask, which I'm about to put on as a break from working. I'm actually all out of hair ties, so my hair is just gonna have to be down. And wearing black was probably not the best idea, but we're just gonna have to make do with this. So this week I was reflecting a lot on some of the things I'm struggling with. And I think it's really important to reflect on your struggles because you're never going to move past them if you don't think about them. It's easy to not think about it, but I definitely think that reflecting on them is important in order to move past and in order to solve it. I used to struggle heavily with establishing healthy boundaries with my friends. So if they were going through something, I would be so invested that it would literally mentally, emotionally, you name it, it would drain me because I was so involved and invested in their problems. And I think it's great to care about your friends and be there for them, but a lot of times it's something that can really like get to you mentally. Like you feel so drained that there comes a point where you just don't want to listen to anyone about anything anymore. And so I was able to recognize this like a couple of years ago, and I worked on it, and I got a lot better at like distancing myself from other people's problems for my own mental health. But now sometimes I feel like I've done a complete 180. Now every time I sense someone talking about anything remotely a little heavy, I kind of sense myself shutting down. I think it's just like a knee-jerk reaction because I know I've worked so hard on making sure I don't get myself so invested in other people's problems. But I think me swinging the other side, like doing a full 180, is not the healthiest thing either, because sometimes I feel like I've created this like wall or barrier around me which stops other people from connecting with me and me connecting with them. And as social beings, connections are important. Those connections are really important. So I think that's just something I'm struggling with right now, and I'm working on trying to find that right balance where I can be there for someone and be empathetic towards their problems. And of course, when people tell me their problems, I do listen to them, but I try not to actively engage because I'm so scared that I'm going to get sucked into their problems and go through the same feeling that I did when I was younger. But I've recently noticed that like I really create this wall, and I think that I should really work on figuring out what the right balance for me is. But yeah, honestly, I think I'm empathetically fatigued. I don't even know if that's a phrase. I could have just made that up right now. But I honestly feel like I'm still recovering from that fatigue, which is why I have this like knee-jerk reaction every time someone tries to tell me something heavy. So still recovering from that, and I think I am making progress, and of course I still have ways to go, but I don't know, the fact that I acknowledge that, I try to be kind to myself about these things. I think everyone has things they're going through, so there's no point in being so like harsh and like judging myself, being like, why am I like this? Like, why am I not perfect? So I think the fact that I acknowledge that this is a problem for me and that this is something I'm working on is a huge step, and pat on the back for that. So yeah, that's just something I wanted to share with you guys. And I think that a lot of times maybe we shy away from sharing our struggles. So I wanted to be honest and candid about what I'm currently struggling with. And yeah, basically letting the other person open up to me and forming those connections based on vulnerability is currently what I'm struggling with. Also struggling with not getting this face mask on my hair, but that's not going too well, but oh well.
So something that I've been feeling like bogged down by like the last couple of days, this past week, is just managing everyone else's expectations of me, like at work, like outside of work, just in my personal life, friends, family, and it's just all coming at me at once, like all these different expectations, feeling like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, like I'm swaying away from what other people want me to do or what other people think I should be doing. For me, I feel this at work especially, like I'm not, you know, living up to other people's expectations. Maybe I'm not doing enough, or do people think I'm slacking off? And I know that's not true. Like I know I'm giving it my all, I'm doing my best, but it's just a matter of like feeling that way and constantly judging myself based off how other people are judging me, or based off how I feel like other people are judging me, even if they might not even be thinking of me. It's just, I just feel like I'm always under the pressure of whether I'm living up to other people's expectations or not. It's just been so hard to like balance my time out, at least mentally and emotionally. Like sometimes I'm dealing with stuff emotionally, or I'm not in the best headspace, but I have to like get it together and do what's asked of me anyway, just to meet other people's expectations. But then that leads me to the question of whether or not I'm meeting my own expectations and my own standard of mental health and what I should be doing or what I need in the moment. So like, I don't know how long it's gonna be until I'm at a place where I'm focusing more on my needs and my priorities and my emotions and just what I need in the moment, rather than having to change that and alter that based on what other people need of me at the moment. And it's hard when you're like working for someone, or even outside of work, if you're like, people have certain expectations of you as a friend, as like a family member, and we just spend so much of our time living up to those expectations and trying to please everyone and trying to make sure that all our relationships in our life are fulfilled and we're giving our all to them at all times. And I feel like for me, the past few days, I've just been sacrificing so much of my mental capacity to make sure that everyone around me is getting what they need from me. I just wish sometimes I could live in a world, or I could have a life where I'm just making all my decisions and at all times doing what I want to do rather than what other people want me to do in the moment. And that's hard when you have like a job and you have like friends and family who you have to like maintain relationships with. But sometimes like I haven't been like feeling like responding to texts lately, for example. And I feel so guilty about that because I don't know if the other person thinks I'm, you know, ignoring them, or thinks that this relationship isn't a priority for me. Or if I haven't been like calling my parents as much, it's not because I don't want to talk to them. It's because I just need like at least a few hours in the day sometimes where I'm just listening to myself and what I need, and not having to like talk to someone or have to do something for someone. I don't know, this is just like a rant, I guess, or not even a rant, but more of like I don't know how to handle that. I'm still in the process of figuring that out. And I know the right answer isn't for me to just like ignore myself and only focus on what other people want from me. And the right answer is also not to just ignore everyone else and only focus on what I want. So finding that balance is where I'm really struggling right now. And some days are better than others in regards to this, but I'm just hoping that eventually, once I've maybe reflected enough, or maybe I've gone through enough experiences with this, that I'm able to find that right balance and set those boundaries with other people when I need to, and just listen to like my heart and what I want to do when I feel like that's the right thing to do in the moment.